From South Florida's night team, a tropical wave could bring a mixed bag of rain or shine this weekend. A home evacuated and residents inside lucky to be alive. And it's all because of a silent killer. The night team on the scene. Burning wild and growing bigger.
And for the murder of Jessica Marie Lunsford, this court sentences you, John Evander Cooey, to death.
He kidnapped, raped, and murdered a little girl. Now tonight, a judge has spoken, and the night team is live. The Newsplex flooded all day with phone calls regarding Fidel Castro. We have the night's new information, and we are live. The NFL coming down hard on Michael Vick after he makes an admission in court.
And I would like her to know how very sorry I am about having frightened her in any way.
An apology from a former astronaut as she comes face to face with her romantic rival in court. The Windy City living up to its name, and then some. David Beckham getting feisty on the field. And whether you want action or laughs, we've got your sneak peek at what's hitting theaters.
Hey everybody, I'm Belkis Nuray.
I'm Craig Stevens. All this and more, first at 10.
Live from the news station, this is 7 News at 10.
Rain or shine, that's the big question for South Florida tonight, and it's all because of yet another tropical wave.
Night team cameras in downtown Miami. A look at the Magic City on one balmy summer evening.
The tropical wave that's out there, it is where we begin right off the top at 10 o'clock. Hello again, everyone. You may be seeing some lightning out there tonight.
And come later on, you may say even more. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Phil Farrow with an early look at the weather now. Phil?
You know, we have been following this tropical wave now for days. It started off by the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and now it is basically sitting right between the Bahamas and Cuba and the Caribbean Sea. It remains highly disorganized, but tonight there's a little bit more moisture to it, so we may see some more rainfall tonight and tomorrow. As we take a look at the amount of moisture moving in, showers and thunderstorms developing in and around Lake Okeechobee, west of Miami-Dade and Broward counties, and also to central Florida. As we take a look at the local storm tracking radar, we can see that there's plenty of rainfall right around western Broward, northwestern Miami-Dade. All this activity is heading towards the north-northwest, but there's also some more rainfall sitting right off of the Atlantic waters, and that is set to move in later on tonight. Now, what can we expect? The wave should continue its push towards South Florida during the weekend. We'll probably see near seasonal chances for rainfall, and as far as Sunday is concerned, still some lingering moisture on the backside. I'll have a lot more on this and local forecast coming up in weather.
And the night team now live in Little Havana, where the crowds have been gathering all day waiting to find out the answer to an age-old question once again. Fidel Castro, the talk of the town, rumors running rampant that the aging dictator is dead. We want to stress yet again that these are only rumors.
And we may now have some idea how some of them started. Let's head out now to the night team's Don Guevara. He's in Little Havana with more. Don?
Craig Belkis, before we get on how this rumor started, let's talk about what it started. Behind me, you can see quite a celebration here. They've been waving flags, wearing funny T-shirts, selling funny T-shirts. All of this is over that rumor that Fidel Castro is dead. Well, the Associated Press says that it all started when word got out that local officials were having one of those meetings about what to do when Fidel Castro actually dies. On top of that, there was a road closure out in the Keys because the police were having some kind of SWAT standoff. So when you put those two things together, you've got one big fat, juicy rumor. The streets of Little Havana coming alive. Friday, a crowd gathers outside Versailles over the rumor that Fidel Castro is dead.
Everyone is wondering what the news is, and the news is no news. And so we wait.
And while they wait, they talk. An entire community coming together over the airwaves of Radio Mambi. The phone lines lighting up, callers questioning if Castro is alive or dead.
A lot of rumors. The police, the security, the Homeland Security, and the listener are investigating where or when the news is confirmed.
no confirmation from passengers coming from Cuba at Miami International Airport. Many saying Castro's Cuba is calm. We don't know anything about that. It wasn't until we came here that we started hearing it. But Miami's Chief of Police, John Timoney, says he's getting word from Washington, which makes him think there might be something to the rumor.
2 nights ago, the head of the FBI called me at home at 11 o'clock at night. You know, the chatter is stronger and more frequent than usual, so there's something there.
And we did get official word from Cuba through their foreign ministry. He told reporters in Brazil that Fidel Castro is doing well and that he is disciplined on his recovery process. We're live in Little Havana. Don Guevara, 7 News Night Team.
And the night team now in northwest Miami-Dade and the scene of a massive brush fire there. The Division of Forestry tackling the blaze, which has been burning for much of the day, consuming some 22,000 acres. It's just a few miles or so from Crome Avenue, west of Crome Avenue. Officials say right now it poses no threat to any homes or any businesses. A rude awakening for a Fort Lauderdale family. Fire sweeping through the home along the 800 block of Northwest 15th Way. Neighbors calling 911 after discovering the duplex was on fire. Neighbors alerting the 5 adults and 1 child to get out. No injuries reported and the cause is not yet known.
Residents rescued from their South Florida home after suddenly getting sick when carbon monoxide from a generator seeps inside. Now tonight, 5 patients are recovering.
The night team's Tiffany Tucker has more now from Mercy Hospital in Coconut Grove.
That something just wasn't right.
Here we got a couple rescues here at the trailer park.
Way too dangerous.
7 Skyforce over the scene of a house in southwest Miami-Dade. 5 people inside suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. A family friend calling 911 for help.
I guess it was pulling in the carbon monoxide inside the house, 2 tanks. I mean, it was from 1 o'clock last night. They woke up this morning, they didn't want to get up. They all had headaches. I told them to pack up everything, let's put the generator in the house. By the time Teddy went out there to help me, he started throwing up. The 2 girls passed out. I called 911.
Investigators tell us the family was using a generator after losing power. The exhaust from that generator seeping into the air conditioning unit. The family complaining of dizziness and headaches from the potentially deadly silent killer.
Absolutely could have been deadly. One of the most dangerous things about carbon monoxide is that it truly is a silent killer. It is odorless, colorless, tasteless. A victim might not ever know that it is present until it's too late.
4 people airlifted to Mercy Hospital in Coconut Grove. The other person transported by ground to get the much-needed treatment.
Well, the patients right now are stable. They're both known that they had carbon monoxide poisoning. They're all stable, but 3 of them will be treated with hyperbaric oxygen.
Another reminder of how dangerous generators can be if not used properly. Luckily, in this case, everyone should be okay.
If this family had had a carbon monoxide alarm inside the house, that would have alerted them.
Again, officials want to remind you it's really important to have that carbon monoxide detector inside your home. And if you should use a generator, make sure it's at least 10 feet away from the structure in a well-ventilated area. In Coconut Grove, Tiffany Tucker, 7 News 19.
Also tonight on 7 News at 10, embattled Miami Police Chief John Timoney firing back after another call for his ouster, this time from the police union. The night team's Dave Cartoonan reports.
This is an orchestrated effort on the part of a disgruntled group over the FOP to undermine this administration.
Miami Police Chief John Timoney fires back Friday in a no-holds-barred interview at police headquarters, just hours after he faced another insurgent attack by the police union, who accused him Friday morning of cooking the books on crime statistics to make the city look safer.
It is criminal, it is underhanded, and it's depriving the citizens of Miami of a service that they should otherwise get.
That was Fraternal Order of Police President Armando Aguilar Friday morning, alleging Timoney's administration downgraded crime's severity so that they would go unreported.
Assaults were changed to a regular dispute, meaning they don't have to report it. Another one, an assault changed to a dispute. You might be wondering, well, how is Chief Timoney responsible for this? He's responsible because he's the chief of police.
But the FOP's evidence was far from a smoking gun, consisting of anecdotal evidence of emails and complaints from cops. And Aguilar admitted he had only investigated a handful of reports and never confronted the chief about it before he went to the media.
I don't understand where they're coming from. They've never let me know about their grievances.
Timoney and Deputy Chief Frank Fernandez opened their books to show how many crimes had been changed just in the past month. They're all documented on paper as policy, and in some cases are upgraded. They also furnished the letter to Florida Department of Law Enforcement asking them to investigate their own department.
In order to fight crime, you got to know about it. If you're hiding it, you'll never know about it. You'll never be able to deal with it.
Both Timoney and Deputy Chief Fernandez face a non-binding vote of no confidence by the union next month. They believe the union is moving in for the kill. After Timoney's embarrassing admission this week, he had free use of a Lexus SUV.
All of this stuff has been in the working. This is, if somebody thinks this is a coincidence, if somebody thinks that that Lexus was the reason to do the vote of no confidence, they are really naive.
Chief Timoney reiterated Friday afternoon that he has no plans to resign. He says he has the support of Mayor Manny Diaz, and he reacted angrily after FOP accused him of having the same problem in Philadelphia. In fact, checking published reports out of Philadelphia at the time Timoney was chief showed that Timoney actually led the effort to have more accurate crime statistics. At Miami Police, Dave Cartoonin, 7 News 19.
Also tonight, he tortured and murdered a little girl, and he will die for his crime.
Skip all these appeals. Take your punishment. Be done with it.
Emotional reaction on this decision day. And the night team is live.
John Evander Cooey will soon be on death row.
Now the father of Jessica Linsford has a message for him. The night team's Derek Hayward is live in Inverness with more on today's sentencing. Derek?
Belkis, tonight Jessica's father spoke to me and he said, "We won. Jessica won." But you have to wonder, did she? Kidnapped, raped, buried alive to die at the age of 9. And now tonight, her killer goes to death row for unquestionably more years to come than she lived in her entire life.
This was a determined, albeit savage, manner of a planned murder with absolutely no pretense of any moral or legal justification. She could neither inhale nor exhale. She could merely wait to die. She likely lost consciousness no earlier than 1.5 minutes, 1 to 1.5 minutes after placement in the hole, and could have taken as many as 8 minutes to die.
After being kidnapped from her own bed to be raped, 9-year-old Jessica Lunsford was buried alive February 23, 2005.
He said one time that when he gets to heaven that he was going to tell Jesse he's sorry. I got bad news. I don't think you're going to make it there. Skip all these appeals. Take your punishment. Be done with it. You want to do something for her? Give your life for the life you took.
49-year-old convicted sex offender John Evander Cooey broke into her Citrus County home as her grandparents slept, persuaded the sleeping child to leave quietly, believing it was to meet with her long-distance truck-driving father. But DNA analysis would reveal her blood and his semen on his mattress.
For the murder of Jessica Marie Lunsford, this court sentences you, John Evander Cooey, to death.
There is some automatic appeals that take place in America, and that's a shame, especially in this case. But I asked him after this automatic appeal is over with and it is sustained, that at that particular time he stops all appeal processes and he expedites his meeting with the maker.
Him being on death row for likely longer than your daughter even lived, is that sort of insult to injury?
I think it's a smack in the face to everybody, the system, everybody. He gets to live 13 more years. His victim only lived 9. You know, there's nothing fair about that, and it's something that we have to. I think that Florida deserves an express lane, and I think that the Supreme Courts need to consider this.
When you look at the inmates residing currently on Florida's death row, the average term of waiting there on death row currently is 13 years. As Jessica's father put it, this isn't over until it's over. Live in Inverness, Derek Hayward, 7 News.
Fallout tonight for NFL star Michael Vick after the QB makes a guilty plea in court. The NFL suspending him indefinitely. My team's Mike DePasquale live for us in the Plex with more on this dog-fighting controversy. Mike?
Hey, Craig, the NFL has sacked the star quarterback for the foreseeable future. Michael Vick is out, suspended without pay. Now, Commissioner Roger Goodell said the admitted plea to dogfighting by Vick is not only illegal, but also cruel and reprehensible. In a plea agreement, Vick admits to a felony conspiracy charge to a dogfighting ring. Vick also admits to help kill 6 to 8 pit bulls execution style for not performing well. But Vick will not admit to any gambling charges. A formal plea will be made in federal court Monday. Government prosecutors have recommended a year to 18 months in prison for Vick, but he could still face a maximum of 5 years behind bars. Now, in a letter to Vick, Commissioner Goodell said, quote, "You, Michael Vick, have engaged in conduct detrimental to the welfare of the NFL and violated the league's personnel conduct policy." Now, the Falcons have been given permission by the NFL to recoup $22 million of Vick's signing bonus. Falcons owner Arthur Blank says forget about anything with football. He just hopes Vick will take positive steps to get his personal life back in order. We'll see after he spends some time in prison. From the Plex, Mike DePasquale, 7 News 19.
And Mike, another pit bull raid, this time in Arizona at the home of a well-known rapper. Sheriff's deputies removing 12 distressed pit bulls from the home of hip-hop star DMX. Authorities also uncovering a large cache of weapons. DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, has had previous run-ins with the law. Back in 2002, he pleaded guilty to animal cruelty charges for neglecting 14 pit bulls.
An apology and a removal request from that former NASA astronaut accused of going after a romantic rival. Lisa Noack telling an Orlando court she's sorry for scaring the woman in any way. She also asked to have her monitoring ankle bracelet removed. The woman she's accused of assaulting, meanwhile, expressed concern the judge might actually grant Noack's wish, saying she's still afraid.
If it's worn without a bandage or something to keep it in place, it causes abrasions around the ankle area.
Ms. Shipman, did it still make you feel better that you knew that she couldn't come near you or be around you?
Absolutely. When I'm home alone and there's nobody there with me, it is a comfort.
Well, the judge slated another hearing before deciding if that ankle bracelet can be removed. Noack's accused of attacking Shipman because of her involvement with Noack's love interest. She's free on bond, but ultimately, if convicted, could face life in prison. A judge refusing to block the extradition of former Panamanian strongman Manuel Noriega to France. The former dictator faces up to 10 years in prison there for money laundering. Noriega is slated to be released from prison here September 9th after serving a 15-year sentence. The decision, which could be appealed, means an extradition hearing before another judge will go forward Tuesday.
Well, still ahead from the night team, a bold thief with a creative side trying to hide his identity. You've got to see this one to believe it.
And two planes almost collide here at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. And now we're hearing from the pilots and the air traffic controllers during those very tense moments. I'm Nicole Insalata. We'll have the story coming up.
I'm Tom Haynes, live inside the 7 Newsplex. More misery in the Midwest, this time the Windy City getting more wind than they can handle. More of these pictures coming up.
Also, they were hit hard by Hurricane Andrew. Now on the storm's anniversary, a South Florida community is proving they will never give up.
David Beckham taken down, then getting fired up on the soccer field. We've got this straight ahead.
And I'm Louis Aguirre live in the Plex. Big stars and big fun at the box office this weekend. I'm going to sort it all out for you in tonight's Real News. And I-Team is back in 2.
Bold. Now open in Miami. Stop.
A close call between two aircraft at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. One on the ground, one in the air.
And a wrong turn that nearly ended in tragedy. Now tonight, we're hearing the chaos as it unfolded. The night team's Nicole Insalata is live at the airport with how this whole thing went down. Nicole?
Well, Belkis, this is actually called a runway incursion, when two airplanes are trying to vie basically for the same runway. Well, in this case, it could have cost up to 300 lives. Fortunately, that did not happen. But now the FAA is releasing the radio transmissions of those involved. And as you mentioned, you can hear some very tense moments.
to the urgency in the voice of an air traffic controller at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport.
1544, stop, 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 stop. 1544, we're stopped. We just missed that turn.
Those were the words that first signaled a problem. July 11th, Delta Flight 1489 with 167 passengers on board tried to land at Fort Lauderdale. As the 757 approached, United Flight 1544 with 138 people on board missed a turn while taxiing and pulled into the path of the Delta flight.
I remember the flaps down. I remember it slowed down.
The air traffic controller.
Delta, go around. Delta 1489, go around. Delta 1489, go around. Traffic in the middle of the runway.
And then he pulled it up into a steep climb.
Here's an animated look at how it happened with the Delta flight passing over the United flight with only about 100 feet to spare.
Delta 1489, fly heading 090, maintain 2000. Delta 1489, 090 and 2000.
The Delta passengers, after being told what had just happened, began applauding, and then a lighthearted moment for a very relieved pilot and controller.
Delta 1489, thanks for the quick action on that. Okay, thank you very much. The last controller, he's already gone downstairs taking a break. I don't blame him after that. I imagine you'll be taking one too. Hi, I guess USA, Don. Okay. Clean our seat up. I believe it.
Now, this is certainly not unheard of, although fortunately it doesn't happen very often. The FAA says it has happened about 3 times here in Fort Lauderdale, 3 times in Miami in the past 12 months. Reporting live at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, Nicole Insalata, 7 News 19.
Whipping winds in the Windy City topping 70 miles per hour, and it's just the latest nasty weather to slam the Midwest. Severe weather and flooding already claiming 17 lives.
And the thunderstorms may not be over just yet. The Night Team's Tom Haynes live in the Plex with more. Tom?
Yeah, Craig and Belkey's pick a state in the Midwest, and you're likely to find misery in the aftermath of some wicked weather pushing through that region over the past week. State of emergency in county after county, and it's not over yet. What looks like tropical storm footage is actually the Windy City Friday getting blasted by near hurricane-force winds. Tornado sirens activated with reports of funnel cloud sightings all over the place.
High winds and heavy rain caused damage to trees, left several residents without power, many others with flooded basements.
A 94-year-old record getting smashed in Ohio. Officials say floodwaters have finally crested, but not before leaving entire towns under 5 feet of water. Rescuers using boats to get to those who dialed 911.
So they sent a rescue boat for us. There were about 3 or 4 firemen that helped load the boat up, and then we got out of here.
Federal officials visiting Ohio and Minnesota to get a first-hand look at the aftermath.
The storm that hit Ohio and other parts of the Midwest didn't have a name, but the devastation is comparable to that we've seen in some infamous storms in other parts of the country.
So what's causing the misery in the Midwest? We look to our own chief meteorologist for answers.
It's a simple clash between hot and cold air masses. Hot air travels north from the tropics, cold air moves down from the poles, and where they meet, that's where you get the severe weather.
In Wisconsin, flooding has left homeowners helpless. Some sandbagging their garages and doorways in vain, doing anything they can to keep the water out.
And I have seepage in my basement. It seeps in, and then I have sump pumps in the basement that pump the water out of the basement back in, so I guess it's recirculating the water.
Flood watches and warnings are still posted for 9 states. That cold and hot air clash that Phil was talking about could persist, with forecasters expecting more thunderstorms to hit over the weekend. Live in the Satellite Center, Tom Haynes, 7 News 19.
Off the satellites now, a plastic bag bandit pulling off a string of gas station stick-ups in record time. This guy caught on camera holding up 3 gas stations in Long Island. The man goes into the store with a yellow plastic bag on his head. He waves a gun around and demands money. Within 1 hour, he robbed 3 stores.
A gas explosion blowing walls off an Illinois home. The front and back walls now flat on the ground there. 3 adults inside at the time of the blast, but able to get out safely. One of them, though, did suffer a broken foot.
50 people forced to leave their homes after heavy smoke and flames damage an extended stay motel they were living in. Firefighters battling the blaze with water and foam in San Antonio, Texas. The fire and the water damaging the roof and the units there. One firefighter was treated for minor heat exhaustion. No other injuries were reported.
In just 2 minutes, the anniversary of Hurricane Andrew 15 years ago today. Find out how one devastated community is back at its better than ever.
Soccer star David Beckham getting feisty on the field. Ooh, more on this scuffle coming up.
Take a break from your weekend chores by taking in a movie. We have your box office preview just ahead.
And real men accessorize. Yes, they do. Find out what's hot and what's not in tonight's Fashion Caller.
All right, then, I'm Mike DePasquale. Coming up, the Dolphins back on the field tomorrow night when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town. We'll see what Coach Cam has in store for his troops. And are you ready for some high school football? There are big games locally, including a rivalry game between Berlin and Columbus. Highlights ahead a bit later in 7 Sports.
Embarrassed every time you walk into a car dealership? Turned down because of past credit problems, repossession, or
Comedy, action, and something for the whole family. It's going to be in theaters this weekend. And as always, we've got your sneak peek. Stars like Scarlett Johansson and Samuel L. Jackson all have new movies.
So which movie is for you? The night team's Louis Aguirre is live in the Plex with a little sampling for us. Louis?
Hey guys, yeah, a little action, comedy, a friendly family flick, and a piece of the past makes for today's real news recipe. Check it out.
Why don't we race to the front door?
Oh my God! That's my finger! Ow!
I am not letting go until you open the door!
Pardon me. Scarlett Johansson ties her apron strings for the big screen version of the chick-lit bestseller, The Nanny Diaries. But it's not the kid who keeps Nanny Annie on her toes. It's her employer, Mrs. X, played by Laura Linney.
We should introduce French food into his diet. It might enhance his study of the language. Dry cleaning.
And while juggling a spoiled kid and his high-maintenance mom, Nanny Annie hopes to find herself a future. In Resurrecting the Champ, Samuel L. Jackson is transformed into a down-and-out former boxing champ.
He has his place in this particular world that he lives in. He has a place. People know him as, that's the champ.
The movie's based on the 1997 true story of L.A. reporter Eric Kernan, played by Josh Hartnett, who writes an article about how the champ missed his shot at fame and ended up homeless.
Is it good for the story? If I could look at some of the stuff in your cart, see what you lug around every day, and then I think it'd be really interesting for the article.
All right, we can do that. As soon as you take me to your house, let me go through all your personal stuff.
Resurrecting the Champ is rated PG-13. And if fighting is your style, you want war. Jason Statham plays an FBI agent navigating the Asian mob underworld, looking for the assassin who murdered his partner.
You and I are gonna finish this.
But he's got to get through Jet Li first. War is rated R.
You speak very good French.
Gracias.
And if you're looking for laughs, Bean is back. Rowan Atkinson is taking his alter ego on vacation in Mr. Bean's Holiday.
I'm bombastic, really fantastic. Don't remember boxes as a Mr. Rowe.
He's so stupid, but he's so funny. This is the second adventure for Mr. Bean on the big screen. The first movie debuted at #1 in 38 countries and grossed over $320 million globally. Make that $230 million. Mr. Bean's Holiday is rated G. Who's laughing now? Live in the Plex, Louis Aguirre, 7 News Night Team.
Soccer sensation David Beckham getting a bit feisty on the field. Beckham at the center of a midfield scuffle in Los Angeles. He tripped, got up, then ran over to another player shouting at him. Looked like gave him a cheap shot there. That's why he got mad. But Beckham's teammates...
Listen to Craig Stevens, a soccer expert.
Well, look at him. He kicked him. It's a cheap shot. Beckham's teammates gathered around, pulled him off. Took a few minutes, but he cooled off, and then they got back to playing the game.
Just don't touch Beck's face, okay? Don't hurt the fudge. Still ahead from the night team, accessories for guys. I'm sure David Beckham's got them all because he's fabulous. They will make you an instant hit when you go out on the town. We're going to take a step fashion forward when we come back.
Also, 15 years after Andrew, a South Florida community looking to the future without forgetting their past.
Right, there is some moisture moving into South Florida. We're seeing some showers and thunderstorms over the Everglades, but will that moisture stick around for the weekend? The entire forecast when we come back.
Ready to save 50% on new flooring?
15 years ago today, Hurricane Andrew slammed South Florida, and for thousands, life would never be the same. One community devastated by the storm committed to moving forward.
The night team's Auralia Ortega has the story from Homestead.
They are images South Floridians won't forget, the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew. The Category 5 storm striking with 165-mile-per-hour winds, destroying 25,000 homes in South Miami-Dade.
It was demolished. It was a nightmare.
In 1992, Andrew was the most costly natural disaster in U.S. history, causing more than $25 billion in damages. But according to a new study by the National Hurricane Center, had Andrew hit now, the cost would be twice as much because of inflation, population growth, and development. Slowly but surely, Homestead is building back up. A groundbreaking ceremony for the new City Hall celebrated. Since Andrew hit, Miami-Dade officials have put in place more stringent building codes.
A lot of the things that we learned from Andrew, we implemented on the new building code.
Things like builders using thicker plywood and impact-resistant glass. Despite the lessons learned from Andrew, a new poll shows that more than 50% of people feel extremely or somewhat vulnerable to hurricanes, and 15% do not rely on the government or charities for help.
At that time, we don't expect the Red Cross to come over, with the hot food, because we have all the gear from the camping on the backyard.
Over the past 7 years, more than 12,000 homes have been built here in Homestead. According to the U.S. Census, that makes it the fastest-growing city of its size in the country. In Homestead, Auralia Ortega, 7 News.
Now, time for 7 weather with Chief Meteorologist Phil Vero.
All right, the weekend is here, and we're following a tropical wave that could bring us a chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Here are the current conditions. Miami under mostly cloudy skies, 79 degrees. The wind coming out of the north-northwest around 7 miles per hour. Fort Lauderdale also with some cloudiness, 83 degrees for you. The breeze out of the west-northwest. And Key West looking very nice, partly cloudy skies, 87 degrees, and a breeze out of the southeast. Here is the very latest satellite imagery. Now, yesterday, the wave that we were looking at was down by the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Well, today, it has basically moved over the Bahamas. It's lingering right over Cuba and the Florida Straits. It remains highly disorganized, but tonight, there's a little bit more moisture with this wave. There is also a low pressure system right over central Florida, and some of that moisture could filter in. As a matter of fact, throughout the day, we've been seeing that moisture push into the state, and that's due to the southerly flow. A lot of rainfall in and around Lake Okeechobee. That has been very good. As we take a good close-up view on our local storm tracking radar, we can see that Miami-Dade, Broward counties, and the Keys remain mostly dry. All the activities basically west over interior portions of South Florida. Very heavy rainfall. If you're planning on driving over I-75 to Naples tonight, it will be messy. All this rain continues to head towards the northwest. And then we also have another batch of showers and thunderstorms on the backside that could be moving in during the overnight hours. So what can we expect? Well, here is the wave. There's the low. The low will continue to push into the Gulf of Mexico and fall apart. The wave will linger during the day tomorrow over South Florida, so we could see a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. And as far as Sunday is concerned, the wave continues to move into the Gulf of Mexico. We can still see some showers and thunderstorms on the backside. Now, what's seasonal for this time of year is about a 40% chance of rainfall for both days. I'm calling for a 50% chance of rain, and just to take into account the extra little push of moisture coming in due to the wave. Here's a marine forecast for tonight. Seas of 1 to 2 feet, the bay with a light chop. For this evening, the clouds will continue to build, some isolated showers, and because there are some fires over the Everglades, some patchy smoke in the western suburbs. By tomorrow, highs in the low to mid-90s, a chance for some storms, and then in your extended outlook, we'll be watching the end of the wave come Sunday, and still a chance with some thunderstorms on Monday. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast.
All right, Phil.
In just 2 minutes, ladies love accessories, of course. Well, now the guys can get a little bling, too. Get a look in tonight's Fashion Forward.
And why not? Later in sports, more on the Michael Vick case as the NFL has its say. Mike DePasquale has the latest in 7 sports.
Don't get shut out. During Mazda's Model Year Closeout, save on
Guys, listen to this. Accessories are not just about your grandfather's cufflinks anymore.
That's right. Now you can add some bling to your look without going overboard. The Night Team's Diana Diaz shows you how in tonight's Fashion Forward.
Okay, guys, if you thought women were the only ones who could accessorize, think again. At Bottoms and Tops in Wilton Manors, everything from watches to shoes to rings and necklaces makes the look for men.
Even just a simple outfit like a pair of blue jeans and a great t-shirt, you can switch up the whole look you're going for depending upon what accessories you put with it.
Jeans and a t-shirt stay casual with a pair of flip-flops. Add a thumb ring by Diesel and a medallion necklace without going overboard. You can get a little funky with a pair of leather high-top wrestling shoes and a baseball cap. And you don't have to make a leap of faith to try this style on.
The rosaries are really great, especially down here in Miami and South Florida where it's warmer, people wear their shirts open. You know, it's something to fill that space, and you know, it's a great look.
Other hot accessories, watches are big, literally, like this gunmetal timepiece by Fossil. Necklaces either worn alone or doubled up. Shoes from subdued to standouts like these bright green sneaks or lemon yellow Pumas. Hats can top off a look from baseball caps to fedoras. And if you're really daring, try on this rhinestone skull belt buckle.
Accessories are a way to express your personality. And, you know, you can be as tame or as out there as you want to be.
I'm a scat man.
At Neiman Marcus at the Galleria Mall, accessories for men go from basic to major bling.
Lots of things that wouldn't be like your grandfather's cufflinks.
This relaxed look takes on a whole new meaning with 2 cross necklaces in amethyst and blue topaz. It's no longer taboo to mix metals with these gold and silver bracelets and ring. Celebrate Neiman's 100th anniversary with this exclusive black sapphire necklace by John Hardy, or go all out with this white gold and diamond watch.
And it's available at a very nice price point of, I believe it's $50,000.
If you're a little more down to earth, pick up this hot trend, a leather cuff designed by model Lee Dahlberg.
The company's called Rock Bands because it's quite simply a rock on a band. Deeper than that, the stones have healing properties, so it's a little feel-good, look-good sort of situation.
You pick the leather and the stone that fits your personality. Celebs everywhere love the Rock Band.
I've got Brad and Angelina and David Beckham and his wife, and I've got Bono, Johnny Depp, Jack Nicholson. I got one out to Tony Bennett, who is a big one for me.
Lee created this cuff to raise money to fight cancer in honor of his mother. The Rock Bands range in price from $250 to $350. For more information on the Rock Band or anything else you saw, just log on to our website at WSVN.com. In the Newsplex, I'm Diana Diaz, 7 News.
I could go for that $50,000 watch. Maybe start passing the hat around here.
Christmas is coming up.
Thank you very much.
I'll keep it in mind. Still ahead from the night team, the latest on the Michael Vick saga as the NFL doles out its punishment.
And after snapping an 8-game losing skid last night, the Marlins try to make it 2 straight wins. Highlights from tonight's game with the Reds. Mike D. is next.
Bull. South Florida's watching. 7 News. #1 morning news. #1 early news. #1 late news. When big news breaks, see it on the news station. 7 News.
No other game show is this revealing.
Boldly going where no game show has ever gone before.
This unpredictable.
A famous pig place.
Your mother-in-law.
And this funny.
A famous fictional island.
Rhode Island?
Get all the answers each weekday with host John O'Hurley.
That's something I didn't even know.
On America's favorite game show.
Are you ready to play the feud?
Family Feud.
Weekday mornings at 10 on 7. Time for 7 Sports with Mike DePasquale.
Hi everyone, the NFL has suspended Michael Vick indefinitely for his involvement and admitting in a dogfighting ring. Commissioner Roger Goodell not happy. He calls Vick's admission not only illegal and cruel, but reprehensible. In today's plea agreement, Vick admitted to felony conspiracy charge of dogfighting. Vick also admitted to killing 6 to 8 pit bulls execution style for failing to perform. But Vick will not admit to any gambling charges. The league has given the Falcons permission to recover $22 million, the signing bonus Vick received in 2004. Vick will enter a formal plea in federal court Monday. He faces up to 5 years in prison. Move on here as the Dolphins starters are expected to play into the third quarter into tomorrow night's third preseason game against Tampa Bay. The dress rehearsal for the season opener will finally feature a game plan. Question is, how about some star power on D finally playing? Channing Crowder says if Zach, JT, and Tractor Trailer don't make their preseason debuts, it's really no big deal.
I find no reason for them to play. Honestly, we're doing pretty good without them, and it's exciting to see what we're going to do when Porter and JT off the edges and Zach in the back. But there's no reason to take those guys out there. Like I've been saying, for the past 2-3 weeks, they're established. Preseason's for young guys to get ready to play.
All right, Channing, Titans and Bills tonight. No score in the second quarter. Vince Young fakes the pass and scrambles. 2-yard touchdown, 7-0 Titans. Still in the second quarter, 7-3 Titans. Buffalo QB J.P. Losman airing it out deep to Lee Evans. Over the shoulder grab, 64-yard touchdown. 10-7 Bills, but the Titans end up winning this one 28-17. Trash pile preseason high school football. Northwestern ranked number 2 in the nation against Deerfield Beach. This one was all Bulls, all-state QB. Jakari Harris is up top to Tommy Streeter. Nice grab for the score. Then a bit later, Harris keeps this one for himself. Haynes' commitment scores on the ground. Bulls winning big 30-7 at last reports. Rowdy crowd at Tropical Park for Columbus and Berlin. Berlin on the board first. Chris Henry to Michael Rios. And Rios just gets in for that score. 6-zip Wolverines. But Columbus answers in the second. Jahari Gore finds a hole and he's gone. Gore goes 90 yards for the score. In the third kickoff classic between these two schools, Gore, just a 10th grader, gives Columbus a 7-6 lead. They go on to win it 13-12. Our news director, by the way, a Berlin grad, will not be happy. And he watches. I know he's not happy. On to your Florida Marlins, who look to make a move to get out of last place in the NL East. Downtroy Willis going for the fish in Cincinnati. D-Train 4-1 lifetime against the Reds. Bottom of 5, no score. Brandon Phillips starts it off. Solo shot off of Willis. Reds get 2 in the inning. Next inning, the Fish strike back. Mike Jacobs makes it 2-1 with his own solo homer. That's 12 on the season for Jake. 3 batters later, with a man on board, Matt Trainer goes deep to put the Lens up 3-2. Trainer's 3rd home run of the season. Bottom of the inning, Jeff Keppinger joins in, and he will tie this one up with a solo home run off of Willis. D-Train goes 7 2/3 innings, tagged with 5 earned runs. Reds will put it away in the bottom of the 8th. Phillips, RBI triple to right. Oh my. The Marlins lose this one 5-3. More baseball, and oh boy, tempers flaring in Philly between Brian Giles and Carlos Ruiz, and here's why. Ruiz goes into Giles high and hard to break up that double play. Pick it up 3-2 Phils in the 5th. On the Padres, and 2 on for Milton Bradley, and he's not playing around. That's what they call a no-doubter. 3-run shot, 5-3 San Diego. Next batter, Adrian Gonzalez, takes Jamie Moyer deep as well. His 23rd. Padres win big 10-3. They lead the NL wild card. And that'll do it for sports. Back to Belkis and Craig over there.
All right, thanks, Mike.
And we have a lot more still ahead tonight.
Tom Haynes actually has it covered for us. He's in the Plex with a preview of 7 News at 11. Tom?
Hey, Belkis and Craig. Is Fidel Castro dead? That is the talk of the town tonight. Live pictures now from Little Havana with reaction to the rampant rumor. Then a former astronaut finally talking about a love triangle that took an out-of-this-world twist. Plus, Mother Nature is once again flexing her muscle in the Midwest, adding salt to unhealed wounds. Those stories and so much more when you join us for 7 News at 11 in just about 5 minutes.
Check it out. I'm stylish. I'm fun. I'm Ashley.
That's a wrap for us. First at 10. Ciao, ciao. I'm Belkis Naray.
I'm Craig Stevens. Stay tuned. The news at 11 is next.
This has been a rebroadcast of 7 News, seen earlier this evening.